So in the old days, many old days, all you could do is buy individual stocks. That's what you did. You built your portfolio and you bought individual stocks. But the financial industry, always looking for ways to sell more products actually, but also hopefully serve their customers too, came up with some ideas, and what was born was the mutual fund. We were basically mutually buying stocks together, almost like an investment club, but you're doing this with people you may have probably have never ever met. It could be from all over the world. So let's talk about what a mutual fund is so you have a good understanding of that and how it can maybe be used. So first off, and you might be very familiar with mutual funds already, but this is a good primer in case you aren't or want to refresher on that. So first off, a mutual fund is a pool of investors. It's me, it's you, it's people from other parts of the country, people from other parts of the world possibly, and we're all deciding to invest in this mutual fund. And by pooling all of our resources and our money together, and pooling it all together, we're able to share the risk and reward. We're basically hiring the mutual fund to manage those stocks, let's say in the stock mutual fund case, to manage that for us. And maybe that's an active manager who's buying and selling stocks and really managing, like we're hiring that person. Or maybe it's an index fund that's giving us some passive income and passive growth by following an index. Either way, they're managing that for us. We're not actually going out and buying stocks. We buy the mutual fund, and then the mutual fund takes care of that for us, and we share that risk and we share the reward as a pool of investors. The other advantage of aspect of a mutual fund is it diversifies the holdings. Sometimes within asset classes or across multiple asset classes, you could buy a mutual fund that's an asset allocation fund, for example, that buys stocks and bonds and cash and gold and all sorts of stuff. It could be that diversified. Or within a stock category, like we're interested in talking about here about stocks. So maybe I want to buy a mutual fund that just buys large cap stocks, or I want to buy a mutual fund that buys international stocks, and you can get even more specific, international small cap stocks, or stocks that pay dividends. You can get really, really finite as far as what you want to buy with a mutual fund. But either way, I'm getting a diversified amount of holdings. Now, the amount of holdings varies by mutual funds. I've seen some as low as 20 holdings, still more than maybe if I was buying individual stocks for most people. But still, it's 20 holdings, so it's more diversified, more things that could go up and less things that go down, so to speak, or as many as 500 or 600 or 1,000 types of holdings within there to get to even a broader amount of diversification. So a big advantage of the mutual fund is they're managing for you and they give you that diversification. You also get professional management, right? So you've got some folks, let's say it's a fund manager, a person who's in charge of the fund. They would have a team of people that work with them. And they're going out researching and they're selecting stocks and they're picking the best stocks for that fund is the idea. That's an active fund. So they're going out picking the best stocks for those funds. Or the manager might be just simply more of an administrator in an index fund where we're going to match this index, let's say like the S&P 500 index of large 500 United States stocks. But there's other indexes out there too. They basically just match that index as all they're doing is lower cost, and they're basically tracking that. Either way, you have professional management doing it on your behalf because you're part of the pool of investors. And lastly, with mutual funds, what they provide is liquidity, or the easy ability to buy and sell. Now, individual stocks are very liquid as well. You can go out and buy and sell them through an online broker or a financial planner, different ways that you can buy and sell individual stocks, the actual mechanics behind it. But a mutual fund does all that for you, buying and selling. But then if you want to get rid of the mutual fund, or buy a new mutual fund, or sell your mutual fund, it's very easy to do. It's basically, by the end of the closing day, it all kind of, equals up, so to speak, and then you can, sell that mutual fund. So if I own a mutual fund, and let's say that day I decide, hey, I want to sell that, I can go online typically and just, click some buttons, and I can sell that fund, and it'll give me money in my account, or I can transfer it, I can sell that fund and do an exchange, what's called exchange, and then buy a new fund. All very easily. You can do it pretty much all online, or through financial service firms as well, depending on where you have your funds. But the idea is it's very liquid. It's not like a house where it might take months to sell a house, maybe even longer than that. It can all happen within a day, basically, as far as selling mutual funds. So mutual funds, pool of investors, diversified holdings, you get some professional management and great liquidity. And it's a great product for people, particularly for newer investors or even experienced investors, to get those benefits very, very easily without having to build their own portfolio of just individual stocks.